TomoNews presents Traffic Technology.
Rolling guardrail could prevent fatal road accidents. A South Korean company has designed a rolling guardrail system that is almost unbreakable in accidents, which means it could save even more lives than traditional guardrails during serious auto accidents. The rolling guardrail consists of rotating barrels made of ethylene vinyl acetate and metal frames. It has a luminescent quality which makes it highly visible to drivers during the night. When a car hits the guardrail, the barrels rotate to convert shock energy from the vehicle into rotational energy. As a result, the car is propelled forward back onto the road rather than breaking through the barrier. The upper and lower frames of the guardrail can prevent the steer systems of both large and small vehicles from suffering a loss of function. The company manufactures different types of rolling barriers, and the system has already been installed on many roads in South Korea.
This 6-rotor personal drone would be an awesome way to get around. Ever since the Jetsons, who hasn't dreamed of owning a flying car? That day an electrical vertical takeoff and landing vehicle can replace the gas guzzler in the driveway. But what if you just want to zip around the neighborhood? Well, then the Solexa is the whip for you. The Solexa is designed for shorter flights of about 20 minutes. Imagine skipping over traffic on your way to work. Or you and a friend can explore the countryside in a Solexa, which is way cooler than taking an ATV. Its designers also think the police might find the Solexa useful. Cops riding a Solexa could quickly respond to a crime scene and then report back to a command center. Navigation would be automated. Punch in coffee shop and the Solexa is programmed to take you there. The Solexa has a 200-pound payload, a 30-meter height ceiling, and a maximum flying time of about 20 minutes. At this point, the concept is just a concept, much like flying cars that fold into a briefcase. British Jim wants to put spin classes inside buses. Do you want to take up cycling but don't want to brave city traffic? And maybe you want to take up spin classes but don't have the time? An exercise studio in the UK thinks it has the answer. London-based One Rebel wants to remodel buses, swapping out the seats for exercise cycles. The buses would pick up club members at stops around the city. This allows passengers to combine a busy commute with a rigorous exercise routine, ultimately saving them time. One Rebel hopes to run several bus routes that would terminate at its centrally located exercise studio. Once the commute spinning class is over, club members can shower at One Rebel before heading into work. How do Google's self-driving cars work? For years, self-driving vehicles were considered futuristic and a thing of fantasy. However, with multiple companies pouring resources and money into the development of this technology, it may soon become a reality. And with some cities like Singapore pumping money into the development of autonomous vehicles, this may be the beginning of the end for human drivers. So, where exactly are we in terms of finally being able to actually use one? In a sense, autonomous cars are already a reality. Google's self-driving cars are fitted with a GPS receiving antenna, LiDAR remote sensing system, a video camera, and radars. Google's autonomous vehicles use GPS to match their position with customized Google Maps in order to select the best routes to take. Radars in the front and back of the car keep track of other vehicles on the road. The LiDAR sensor rotates 360 degrees and detects the distance between the car and surrounding objects. A video camera behind the car's front windshield is able to read road signs and traffic lights. This is not to say that the self-driving cars are ready for public use, as there are still a few important wrinkles to smooth out. A current flaw with Google's cars is that they require the roads they're traveling on to be precisely mapped out. Otherwise, the vehicle is unsure of how to behave. These maps are extremely detailed digitalizations of the physical world, where things like even the height of every single curb is measured out. There are also issues with the car's algorithms. In mid-February, a Google self-driving car failed to slow and hit a public bus because it expected the bus to yield. According to Wired, Google's cars have driven more than 1.3 million miles since 2009. As of January, they've been involved in 17 crashes, all of which could be blamed on human error. An impressive record that was ruined by the Google car that crashed into a bus last month.
Singapore plans to test self-driving buses. Singapore announced on Wednesday that the country will begin testing autonomous buses on the road in 2018. 2 existing electric hybrid buses will be equipped with various sensors, including LiDAR, high-sensitivity cameras, radar, and GPS receivers. The autonomous system allows the buses to detect obstacles and lanes in order to navigate through traffic. The test route covers a 1-kilometre stretch of road in the west of the island. The buses can be recharged at bus stops along their route, which takes about 30 seconds. Singapore began testing driverless taxis in August. One of the self-driving cars collided with a truck on Tuesday, but no one was injured in the accident.
Future luxury apartments could have balconies big enough for personal flying cars. Ever wondered what life would be like when flying cars become an everyday mode of transport? Canadian engineer Charles Bombardier and Indian industrial designer Ashish Tolkar hope to one day develop luxury apartments with landing pads for personal flyers. An imagined luxury apartment aims to help make personal flying vehicles become commonplace. This new kind of residential building would see vertically aligned landing pads accommodate the vehicles. Residents would not necessarily need to own such a vehicle, but could simply order one, much like a taxi or ride-sharing service. When detecting an inbound vehicle, the balcony could prepare for landing by lowering the rail guard automatically. Air traffic control systems would be necessary to keep the city skies orderly and safe. Although the idea is still in its infancy, Bombardier and Tolkar believe it may not be long before we see apartment buildings built to code for personal flyers.
Dutch University aims to use solar panels as highway noise barriers. Eindhoven University of Technology is developing solar panels that could be used to accomplish goals beyond electricity generation, such as acting as noise barriers along highways. A practical test is being run along the Netherlands' A2 highway, one of the nation's busiest, near the city of Den Bosch. Sound barriers with incorporated LSCs, or luminescent solar concentrators, can absorb sunlight by using transparent diaplastic sheets which then emit and direct concentrated radiation along solar cells hidden inside the frames. The LSCs can come in a variety of colors, making highways more visually appealing. The current test features only 2 noise barriers, which measure 4.5 meters high by 5 meters wide. A single kilometer of barriers could generate enough electricity to power 50 households. The 2 sets of panels will stay alongside the A2 highway until early summer of 2016, as a full year of testing is crucial in order to verify the durability and performance of the panels under all weather conditions.
Hyperloop's next destination could be Indonesia. Indonesia could be the next country, and perhaps the first in Southeast Asia, to test a Hyperloop rapid transport system. Hyperloop Transportation Technologies has announced a $2.5 million feasibility study for 3 possible routes, including at least one to service Jakarta, which suffers extreme traffic congestion. A Hyperloop works by propelling a magnetically levitating passenger or cargo capsule through a depressurized tube. The low friction could enable it to exceed jetliner speeds. Hyperloop technology is perfectly suited to Indonesia, a country with a high population density, but underdeveloped transport infrastructure. The Hyperloop's capsule vehicle would accelerate to cruising speeds using a linear electrical motor, and the near vacuum tubes would enable traveling as fast as 760 miles per hour. The company says travel time on the 560-mile route between Jakarta and Yogyakarta could be slashed to 25 minutes. The frictionless motion enabled by magnetic levitation or air bearings would provide an exceptionally smooth ride, leaving passengers refreshed rather than exhausted by what might otherwise have been a long drive. The feasibility study will examine routes first in Sumatra, then Jakarta, and then other parts of Java.
MIT may have found a way to eliminate signal lights. MIT's study on signal lights based on mathematical modeling could help improve traffic at busy intersections. The theory is based on a slower is faster effect. For example, a large group of people boarding a plane might cause a bottleneck effect, slowing down the process. However, a small group that isn't rushing, with each person maintaining a distance from each other, is able to board faster. MIT researchers are proposing a similar process where smart cars with the technology to maintain a distance from other cars can travel through intersections faster. Meanwhile, cars that can anticipate traffic ahead are able to adjust speeds ahead of time to avoid a bottleneck effect and maneuver through an intersection more quickly. Based on this model, there would be no use for traffic lights. Cars would enter intersections on a slotting system, adjusting their speeds accordingly. This allows the flow of traffic to continue, thereby decreasing travel time.
New car technology recognizes road signs. Some vehicles can now recognize signs and alert drivers when traveling on congested roads. A new technology is making cars smarter. Vehicles that are fitted with a specially designed forward-facing mirror and a rain sensor are able to recognize important traffic signals, such as speed limits, highway exits, no overtaking signs, and end of motorway indicators. The system automatically detects the signs and displays images of the warning on both the multifunction and navigation system unit displays. An onboard computer system cross-references the traffic signs detected by the camera with information from the navigation device and current vehicle data to make sure the information given to the driver is correct. The technology is available on selected car models produced by companies including Volkswagen, Audi, and Mercedes. San Diego could become the smartest city in the US. San Diego is partnering with General Electric to upgrade the city's streetlights into a digital network that can optimize traffic and enhance public safety. More than 3,000 streetlights in San Diego will be equipped with real-time autonomous sensors, cameras, and microphones. The streetlights will be connected to form an IoT network. The streetlights can measure air quality, locate vacant parking spaces, monitor traffic flow of vehicles and pedestrians, as well as detect gun violence. The city will also replace 14,000 streetlights with technology that allows them to dim or brighten manually or automatically, according to natural light conditions. The installation will begin this summer, with the potential for 3,000 more sensors to be added in the future. China's futuristic elevated bus may just be an elaborate investment scam. China's much-hyped elevated bus, which last week completed a test run, may not only just be impractical and unfeasible, as many are saying. Website Shanghaiist reports China's state media now says the whole thing was an illegally funded project aimed at scamming investors. China's Global Times tabloid also attacked the thing's designer for having only an elementary school education. Nevertheless, the proposed Transit Elevated Bus, or TEB, is 22 meters long, 7.8 meters wide, and can carry up to 300 passengers. It runs on rails laid on ordinary roads and occupies 2 traffic lanes. Passengers board the bus through an elevated bus stop. It is powered by both solar power and electricity. Through a technology called relay charging, the bus receives electricity as it enters a bus station. The TEB straddles the road 2 meters above the ground, which allows smaller vehicles to pass below. It is equipped with sensors on its front, rear, and sides to warn vehicles to not get too close, and large vehicles to not pass below. The TEB development company says one bus could replace 40 conventional buses and could save 2,640 tons of carbon emissions. 4 buses could be linked together and operate in a train-like manner. The bus can reach a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. However, the bus can only run on a mostly straight track and is unable to perform sharp turns. Although last week's test received wide media coverage, the thing only traveled 300 meters at a slow speed and without traffic beneath it. What's more, the city didn't even know about the test, let alone approve it.
So this elevated bus, which is actually a train, may never get off the ground.